All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe because we demystify this cryptocurrency market one video at a time. My name's Austin. In today's video, I want to update you on Ethereum, on the latest altcoin news, and of course, explain our top story of the day: why is Bitcoin crashing? Who's causing it? What's happening? And me, as a crypto holder, should I be worried? I want to encourage you right now to hit the bell notification for Altcoin Daily as we cross 1 million subscribers, which is only going to happen once. Altcoin Daily will be popping up, going live. You are going to want to be on that stream. So hit the bell notification right now and let's jump in. First piece of news out of 5 today, so like always, check the timestamps. But first piece of news, Bitcoin is crashing due to the US stock market crashing. And the US stock market is crashing due to China's economy, stock market, housing market really crashing. Let me explain. Wall Street sinks amid China's Evergrande contagion fears, also US debt politics. So Evergrande is a publicly traded company in China. They are huge and they're going down at the moment. Here's what's happening. US stocks plunged on Monday, with major indices tumbling over 2% during the afternoon session, an outrageous number for the stock market, as investors nervously eyed the potential ripple effects of the default of a major Chinese real estate company, as well as the ongoing debate in Washington over this debt ceiling for the US. So what is Evergrande? What is this problem in China? Well, shares of the China Evergrande Group plunged by more than 10% on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange as fears mounted that the Chinese real estate juggernaut would collapse under a major debt burden, impacting shareholders, bondholders, and potentially triggering turmoil elsewhere across global markets. And because of this, because one major Chinese real estate company is potentially going down, because of this, the specter of a broader crackdown by the Chinese government on Hong Kong's real estate sector further added to concerns. If this still sounds confusing, I totally understand. Let me share with you a clip on CNBC today of Jim Cramer explaining the situation, saying the writing has been on the wall for months. Watch this.
I mean, this one we suddenly decided that this project, this problem, this $300 billion debt is an issue. It has been an issue for months. But we always felt that the PRC, the government, would bail them out. And, David, what this seems to be is a recognition that when the nation's richest man, which is the person who owned Evergrande, is in trouble, we no longer expect the Chinese Communist government to bail them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of what has been happening there in the last, I don't know what you call it, 6 months to a year, over a year now,
yes,
actually.
That's why it's a slow-motion train wreck, but it's been going.
Because it's not as though we haven't talked about an overheated property market in China for many years. And, I mean, there have been so many times that we have.
So this one company tanking is a sign that the housing market, real estate market in general, is overheated, bringing all global markets down, and that's why Bitcoin is crashing. Also, here is cryptocurrency investor Mark Yusko explaining the situation as well.
The Evergrande story, the equity of Evergrande is worthless, right? It is going to zero. The rumor now is that bondholders are going to get 25 cents on the dollar. Mm-hmm. It's probably what they deserve. And they're going to have to unwind a lot of bad debt, I guess. I mean, it was never good debt to begin with. So to call it bad debt now is kind of funny, right? It was never a good idea. It was always basically handouts to the super rich part of the Politburo, the senators. And now, and this cycle happens, right? In 2005, this happened. They had to bail out the banks, just like we bailed our banks out in 2009. And I'm not sure it'll go that far this time. It might. Mm-hmm. It might. It's not as dire as it seems, but it's certainly something that could, to your very astute point, have contagion effects.
Good clip. Good clip. Give me your thoughts down below. And that brings us to our next obvious question. Austin, shouldn't Bitcoin be a hedge? Why, if everything else tanks, a market that's supposed to be uncorrelated, cryptocurrency Bitcoin, why would it tank with it? And in my opinion, it's important to remember that because Bitcoin is so small compared to the rest of global markets because cryptocurrency is such a nascent space at the moment. Smaller time frames, we are very much correlated. Larger time frames, big picture, we are beginning to see the signs of a decoupling, of uncorrelation. And remember, during the '08 housing crisis, everything tanked. The stock market, the housing markets tanked. And guess what? The most uncorrelated traditional asset, gold, tanked right along with it. And then what happened next? As the recovery started, those uncorrelated hedge assets recovered first. Gold recovered harder and faster. So do not be fooled. And keep this in mind. The S&P right now is teetering, threatening a large sell-off. Spectators are selling down in risk-off mode. But meanwhile, investors on-chain for Bitcoin have been in strong accumulation. So the on-chain data does show us that accumulation right now for Bitcoin is still happening. That's still bullish. But if traditional markets keep selling off, I would expect in the short term Bitcoin to keep selling off in the short term. And think about last time we saw something like this. The last significant equities crash we saw was during the pandemic. Bitcoin also showed strong accumulation during that time. I remember everybody saying that Bitcoin was a failed uncorrelated asset, a failed safe haven. That was until the supply squeeze from that accumulation took hold later that year. We know that Bitcoin went from 3K over the next 6-7 months, 3K to 65K, because the on-chain accumulation was happening. And let me give you an example. The country of El Salvador bought the dip. We just bought the dip, says their president. 150 new coins. El Salvador now holds 700 coins. Do not take this for granted. This is the first time in history that nation states, as well as publicly traded companies, as well as individuals like you, like me, are buying the dip. So that's why Bitcoin is crashing. I'm going to keep looking at the data. As I get more information, I will keep you updated. I do encourage you to give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. And before I share with you the latest news involving Solana, I do want to give a 60-second shout out to sponsor of the channel, the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards Credit Card. You can literally earn Bitcoin on every single purchase you make, one of the easiest ways to accumulate crypto. Earn an unlimited 1.5% back in Bitcoin on every purchase with the BlockFi Rewards Visa Signature Credit Card. See if you're pre-approved with no impact to your credit score, link down below. And this is a quality card. It is metal, it is black, it looks slick. And the biggest reason that I like it is because there's no annual fee, which cannot be said for many competitors. There's also no foreign transaction fees, and you can earn up to 3.5% back in Bitcoin during your first 3 months. So if you live in the US, I highly recommend, link down below, check it out. Every time you buy groceries, think about it, every time you purchase Bitcoin with this credit card, you can earn even more Bitcoin back. Check it out, link down below. Let's keep moving and let's talk about Ethereum. Fortune, the magazine, has just launched a philanthropic fund for journalism on Ethereum. So this is pretty cool. American business magazine Fortune has just launched a new decentralized donations fund alongside non-fungible token artist People Pleaser, with proceeds earmarked for independent journalists and programs that foster journalistic integrity. And to do this, they are choosing to use Ethereum. The new Fortune Journalism Pleaser Fund was launched on the Ethereum blockchain through Endowment, a charity-focused DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, and so far, the fund has been allocated over 214 Ethereum, worth roughly $660,000 at current prices, all for journalism/journalism charities. So big news for Ethereum. This is a big fundamental green flag, and if you like Ethereum, you like this. And next up, big news for altcoins in Germany. Van Eck to offer Tron, Solana, and Polkadot ETNs, exchange-traded products essentially, although ETNs, in Germany. And they're doing this because they're seeing the demand their clients want from them. Their clients are saying, we want exposure to these. Van Eck is now offering Tron, Solana, and Polkadot ETNs in Germany, as a way to allow investors to capture the momentum of layer 1 alternatives to Ethereum in recent months. Now, we know that VanEck is heavily respected in the US. They are a mutual fund manager. They're also trying to get a Bitcoin ETF approved here in the States. But because the states are waiting, they're going to Germany and they're offering altcoin products. The idea that you could get 50,000 transactions per second, which would rival NASDAQ, opens up the potential to just securitize any number of existing assets, tokenize them, and trade them in parallel using the Solana network. Interesting, very interesting to see what is being accepted, what customers are asking for in the rest of the world. If you're from Germany, give me your thoughts on this down below. But that is the video. My name's Austin. Like always, see you tomorrow.